Manchester United 1, Omonia Nicosia 0. It was always in the bag, that wasn't it? One of the most comfortable, least stressful games against a giant of European football. Jordan, why are you so sad? We've just beaten one of the best teams ever with a clean sheet.
It's hard to put into words, Joseph, how I'm feeling. I'm happy we won.
Yeah.
34 shots.
And we limited them tonight.
Yeah, we did.
We really did.
We have one
limited
shot.
them. They had two
Two
shots.
shots.
Don't knock them. They had 2 shots.
34 shots.
Yeah. We won.
93rd minute winner.
Yeah. What can we say? Tom, go on. Talk us through that.
It's great winning a game like that. I take that over a 5-0.
Bollocks.
93rd minute.
It was nice.
Thought it wasn't going to happen. All that emotion you
Cypriot's
invest.
third best team.
Maybe.
I think
We should have won by more, shouldn't we?
we should have won by more.
Good,
and obviously,
good God, it should have been 10.
let's talk about that, because obviously you look at that 1-0, 93rd minute winner. There was an element of desperation to that performance by the end. But in terms of minute by minute, it's about as dominant I've seen Manchester United be for years. Like it couldn't be more dominant, really, could it? 78% possession, 34 shots to 2. I think they had 0 shots on target. Like, we'll get into the mistakes and the missed chances and all that in a bit. But in terms of dominating a game, Tom, that was about as... You can't really control a game more than that.
Yeah, I feel like them games in the past, we have still seen the opposition find a few more avenues out.
Yeah.
Just we were playing with 2 defenders, and every time they tried to get out, they would lose the ball, and that was, again, it should have obviously resulted in a more comfortable evening.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just felt like we had them really penned in.
Yeah.
And I just as an approach to games, it was nice to see.
Yeah. It was good to see United controlling a game like that. And I know that it became less and less fun and less good to see, because it's going, actually, we need to win this. We'll still get the goal. Okay, 80th minute. I still think we go on 85th minute. I'm hopeful we'll still go. And then it gets to 90th minute, you think, we might not win, we're probably not going to win this. Yeah. And having to rely on a 93rd minute winner is a little bit, not necessarily embarrassing, but a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
It's a lot more than that, to be honest.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah, because you should be walking over this team. You honestly should be. Like you say, 34 shots. For goodness sake. Yeah. The quality of their football was shocking at times. Their fitness levels were miles behind, which is why we had so many chances, I think, especially going towards the back end of the second half. Yeah. We were just crossing balls, but that looked desperate, even with all the possession and the good passing movements that we had, which I think we were actually very good at in the game, creating those chances with 1-2 touch football. But come on.
Yeah.
How they need to be more clinical. It's simple, because they won't get a result against Newcastle if they play like that.
No.
I'm sorry, they genuinely won't, because Newcastle won't allow you to have all that possession. They're just miles better than Omonia.
I still think there's a little bit freakish, that game.
Yeah,
to pan out the way it did.
Yeah, I think it was. It wasn't like I've seen United in the past, maybe not against teams of Omonia's quality or lacking of quality, but against teams that we are far better than, create far less than we did tonight. Like, the Istanbul Besiktas game, we created a lot more than they did, but it wasn't a game where you went, we should have scored 6.
Yeah.
Tonight, if it had finished 6 or 7-0, no one could have complained.
I was genuinely entertained, by the way they were playing. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but what can you learn from beating Omonia anyway? Yeah. It is a tournament that we don't really want to be in.
You learn to take chances.
You do learn. We obviously need to be better at that, but we haven't. I don't think we've been that bad at taking our chances so far this season. I would say that game sticks out as more of an anomaly than, we took our chances at the weekend. Scoring goals at key times. I've not seen that this season where we've been so
other than
poor.
Against Omonia in the first leg, but even then we got 3 goals.
Yeah, I just think my personal worry just came from the fact that there was all these chances, there was minimal goals, and yet we've been so far less clinical with better teams and scored more past them. Yeah, I genuinely think the players almost took the foot off the gas a bit today. Because
do you think that?
I do, because the comparison between when they're playing Arsenal or Liverpool, you can fully see they're up for it in everything that they do. But in this game,
it's a very different game.
Look at how they were moving in the 85th minute, 90th minute. They were absolutely throwing it at him.
Yeah.
And it stunk of desperation at times.
But by the end of a game where you've had 34 shots, you've had, free headers, open headers, one-on-ones with the goalkeeper. You've had tap-ins. You've had Ronaldo inches away from the goalie. You've had Rashford inches away from the goalie. You've had everything hit the crossbar. Potential penalties. By the time none of those things go in, and you get to the 90th minute, you do start to get a bit desperate because. What else can you be?
I think we scored a good goal,
continue to be measured forever.
We were desperate. We didn't
picked
start
him out well,
lumping it. At least we
Yeah.
kept trying to get the ball, high up the pitch on the floor.
Yeah.
And try and find them pockets of space. We had loads of time where it could have fallen, but they were packing it with so many players. There was no room to do anything.
In the end, it was a bit of quality, wasn't it, from Sancho? The turn in the box, I think, the dummy going back toward the goal line. That sort of fooled a lot of the Omonia players, and then the pass into McTominay, good touch and a good finish from McTominay. But it felt freakish. It felt like an anomaly, that game, where to create that many chances, have that many good opportunities as consistently throughout the whole game. There was no 10-minute spell where we didn't have a very good chance. And it was like, to not win by more, I think, again, if you replayed that game, just sort of ran those chances over and over and over again, we would win. We would score 3 goals or more 9 times out of 10, I think. It felt like that sort of level of chances created. Get your comments in. Let us know what you thought to the game. Craig says, get that keeper signed. I love his smile. I mean, he had a decent game tonight, didn't he? You can see his smile behind Jordan there. Martin Ahmed says, shut up, we won, celebrate. Jordan, shut up and celebrate.
I was shocked that we scored, to be honest, because I thought it was going to be just one of them. Everyone thought it was going to be one of them, another one of them. And if it was a 0-0 draw with 34 shots to 2, everyone would be raging.
Yeah, they would.
It'd be raging. Oh, it's the same old shite. There's nothing here again. We can't see progress. But if it was 0-0, I think we'd be pointing out more of the progress that we saw.
Yeah.
I genuinely would. And for me, I think Ten Hag's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
For the majority.
I think
he'll be pleased with the win, knowing that we've kept the same distance between Sociedad, because nobody wants to do that stupid playoff game with the third place team in group stage of the Champions League.
Absolutely, losing that game.
Yeah. You have to go out and you have to smash Sheriff and you have to smash Sociedad. But I think Ten Hag will be more annoyed than anything that they didn't take the chances.
Yeah.
I think he'll see more negatives than positives.
I don't know. Whilst I agree there are definitely some negatives, not taking chances, the problem with that is, though, that creating good chances is all you can really do as a manager. Like, facilitate your team creating chances in a style that you've dictated. After that, it's on them. There are certain times when, obviously, tactics and stuff, maybe if you created different types of chances, whatever. If you're getting one-on-ones with a goalkeeper repeatedly, if you're getting free headers in the box repeatedly, if you're getting, like the ball being spilled out and then tap-ins being missed, that is nothing to do with the manager. You setting up a system that repeatedly creates those sorts of chances, that's a manager's job, not to put the ball in the back of the net. At some point, it's just on the players on any given day. And like I said, against Arsenal, I thought we were pretty clinical. Against Liverpool, I thought we were very clinical. Didn't miss many chances in those games. And maybe there was something to be said for the fact that they know they're playing against Omonia, which for some of these players is one of the lowest ranked teams they've played against as professionals, like I think the 242nd in the world or something. So maybe there is always going to be that subconscious, okay, maybe I don't have to hit it quite as hard, or maybe I don't have to be quite as fast on the follow-up or whatever as they would be against a Liverpool or an Arsenal. But I think considering the level of the opposition and the ease at which we broke them down, I think that the composure we actually kept throughout the game was quite impressive, to keep doing the right thing. And even for the goal, like you said, it was a good ball, good trickery on the left-hand side and a square ball along the floor into the box. It wasn't, fuck it, oh my God, let's just boot it into the box over and over again. I thought it was actually quite impressive how, in the face of what was going to be an incredibly embarrassing draw, that would almost certainly mean that we're playing a Champions League team, we actually kept our composure pretty well, I thought. I was not impressed necessarily, but they could have easily gone the other way, I think, United.
I agree with you on that point, because I think because last year, under Ole or Ragnick, I think that we would have panicked a lot earlier in that game.
Yeah.
If they were making that sort of number of chances. They'd have panicked earlier and they'd have done more frustrating things, like they'd just oofed it in the box. They wouldn't carry on the passing style. because I think Eric Ten Hag trust him then in a sense that go, no, keep at it, keep going, and you'll get the goal. And I was very much down it happened because towards the end of it, but it did happen, and it's positive. And I think that shows one of the progresses that we've seen from last season, the fact that they kept the same style for the majority of the game and they reaped the reward out of it, which was the goal and eventually the 3 points in the game. But I also think we passed fantastically today. And I don't think that's really anything to do with the fact of the opposition. You only play what's in front of you, and they played some fantastic 1-2 touches in between tight spaces and pockets where against the big teams, you'll hurt them in if you can keep doing that.
You'll probably get more space as well.
Yes.
Not many teams will sit into that extent.
No, especially those last 30 minutes. They just didn't even try and get the ball out, did they? They just
couldn't.
No, that's true.
Take a positive in that.
Looking at the group then, Sociedad on 12 points, United on 9 points, and then it's Sheriff on 3, Omonia on 0. Realistically, because Sociedad will play Omonia next week or whenever the next round is, United play Sheriff. We need to win these last 2 games. Actually, just before we move on to that, I just want to show the non-red card, the yellow card that was given for the player on Casemiro. One of look at this. Look at this player in the air. Look at that. That was given as a yellow card. And obviously, as the player moves on, just to let you know, his studs went straight into Casemiro's shin and got none of the ball.
His left foot goes in as well. It tucks in like that when he's making contact.
Diving through the air, flying through the air, lands on Casemiro's shin and gets a booking and not a red. There was some slightly odd refereeing decisions, wasn't there?
Yeah, I don't see the point. They don't... We have our issues with it, but it happened against Sociedad, didn't it? How on earth he didn't go and look at that penalty?
Yeah.
I was really scratching my head thinking, because you see it and it's a clear mistake. I think even by the rules it's a clear mistake, and they just don't go and look.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you wouldn't tell them to have a look. It's just a really bad tackle, and it should result in a red.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a red card. So looking at this group, United obviously 3 points. 3 points behind Sociedad, 6 points ahead of Sheriff. Almost guaranteed. We'd have to lose our last 2 games. Sheriff would have to win their last 2 games. Pretty much guaranteed to go through. Do you see us winning those last 2 games?
I don't know. We'll beat Sheriff.
Yeah.
But is it a goal difference head to
I'm
head?
pretty sure it's...
So if we beat them, and we beat them by a better, we have a better goal difference between the 2 games, we go through. Is that right?
I think so.
Well, it'll go into a shootout, won't it, for that game? Maybe. We've obviously not been convincing, have we, in Europe?
I think we beat Sheriff. Maybe not comfortably, but we beat them.
Yeah.
And then Sociedad's going to be a very tough game, knowing that you have to win it to get the automatic qualification, knowing as well you have to better the result that they beat us. Luckily, that was only 1-0.
Yeah.
If they're on it, and if they play like that, maybe in 2 weeks, 3 weeks' time, whenever that game is, they're a bit more sharper. So eventually they can put more past them. But there's going to be a hell of a lot of pressure on them for that game.
Yeah.
It'll probably be the biggest game of the season, probably, because I think Manchester United's best chance at Champions League football next year is through this competition.
And getting a Champions League dropout team massively decreases our chance of winning this tournament, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah, but I still think I think we'll
struggle against Sheriff, and I think we won't beat Sociedad, personally. And we just are awful against Spanish teams, and we always have been.
We played Sociedad away 2 seasons ago, didn't we? Win like 4-0.
We dicked him. It was 4-0.
Yeah.
It was 4-0 away, and then I think it was 0-0 at Old Trafford, I think.
Let's take a step back a little bit. I think I remember getting a bit carried away. Sociedad are not that good.
No, they're not. But neither were Sevilla or who was it that we drew or lost to? Villarreal twice.
But we've been poor. I think if we go there, there's going to be more space.
Yeah.
Then it's probably. It might be an easier game approach-wise than tonight was, because tonight was just like it didn't really matter. You knew what they were going to do, and you just had to find that goal. The longer you don't find it, the more frustrating it gets. Sociedad, it's a better team, be more like probably what we're used to.
Yeah, a little bit of back and forth rather than everything one way, having to break down a defensive team.
And some spacing behind.
Anyway, we'll obviously find out when Manchester United play Sheriff. When is that game? Let me just double check. Thursday the 27th, so 2 weeks from now, and then the Sociedad game is the week after that on the 3rd of November. So we've got a couple of weeks off the Europa League, but big games coming up there. Obviously, could be the difference between facing, Apoel in the second round or facing Barcelona in a knockout time.
And that run after Newcastle. Well, Newcastle's a difficult game anyway with how they're playing. But that run is difficult. Spurs, Chelsea, Sheriff in the Europa League, West Ham, and Sociedad. It's a tough 5 games, that.
Yeah.
It's a very tough 5 games.
It is.
So they're going to have to be on it. If it's Sunday, Thursday constantly,
yeah,
you can't keep playing the same team as well.
No.
You'll have to do a lot of rotation.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. Manchester United have beaten Omonia Nicosia in one of the most bizarre games of football I've ever watched in my life, in fairness. A game that no one could possibly argue United deserved to win. We absolutely destroyed them for 90 minutes. It should have been 6, 7, 8-0. Really, no score would have been unfair. I mean, obviously 1-0 was astonishing, but United won and we're still with a chance of winning the group. Thank you very much, Tom, for coming down. Where can people find you?
They can find me. My handle on Twitter and Instagram is @TomCooney with a double Y. Where the hell am I looking? There you go.
And Jordan?
JD Simpson on Twitter.
Very good. Thank you very much for joining us. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Manchester United have beaten Omonia Nicosia in the nick of time. Scott McTominay with the winner in the 93rd minute. I mean, it's hard to get too excited.
I'll never forget it.
I'll never forget it. See you in a bit.